Okay, now I just want to run you through some problems I've had. I've put the engine in the moke with the new radiator. That's another story. Look at the previous episode on this about getting that radiator in. But as you're aware, I bench tested this motor and had no problems at all. Since I put it in, I cannot get it to run no matter what. I've had the plugs in and out. I'd have a spark occasionally. I check the leads, I get a good spark there, put the plugs in, not so good, random. But what I found out by chance, well, I won't say chance, by research, I looked at this coil that came off it, 12 volt ignition coil used with resistor. Now it had no resistor on it. So what I've had to go and buy off Amazon was a resistor. Now how I had it wired up was I had the coil in there with 12 volts coming from the ignition switch to the coil, to the positive, from the negative side of the coil down to the distributor, and it worked, it ran. But after researching why it wouldn't start, when I was trying to start it, the original red ignition coil was red hot. And what I found after researching about this resistor was it should have this external resistor on it. Now what that does is you take a wire from, you can see it in there, from the starter relay. So when it pulls in to crank the starter, it puts 12 volts up here onto the positive side of the coil. But when it starts and you let the key go, it gets its power from this wire, which again is 12 volt, but it goes through this resistor to the positive side of the coil. So the 12 volts from the ignition wire, which I originally had going direct to there, so this wire here, direct to there, 12 volts all the time, without an external resistor to knock it down to about 8 volts, these overheat and fail. And that's what's happened. So I've bought a new coil, I've bought 4 new plugs, bought an external resistor, so I'm just about to mount all that up and see if it'll start this time. I do have to run a new wire from the negative side of the coil down to the distributor. Originally I had what I thought was correct, which was this one, which comes from the relay. I had it on there, up direct onto the coil, but that's not right. So the guy I bought it off would have had the same problem, I'm sure. Maybe it fired up for him as well, ran for a little while, but I've cooked that coil, I'm sure. So, new coil, new resistor. I'm going to wire it up correctly and see if we can get this baby to run. So that's my plan for today. Okay. Well, I've mounted it and rewired it. So what I've got is a constant 12, well not a constant, a 12 volt when the starter solenoid's in. It's direct 12 volt to the positive on the coil. When you let go of the key, according to this 8A ignition switch, A3 to the coil and the fuel pump in the tank if you're using it. Goes through the resistor and then supplies a lower voltage to the coil. Tacho onto the negative down to the distributor. I've got a new spark plug sitting in here, so now I'm going to just give it a crank and see if I've got a decent spark. That's the plan. If I get a good spark there, then I think I'm on the home stretch. I've got no plugs in it, so we should see. Now that's what I didn't have before. So, all right, I'll put the spark plugs in it now and just see if we can get this thing started. So that seemed a bit better. Wasn't an overtly strong spark by the look of that, but just could have been the earth. When I was trying it previously, when I had the coil hooked up the wrong way, I had the plugs kept getting foul with fuel, like it was flooding, but it wasn't flooding, it was just a really weak spark. What I haven't checked is that when I'm cranking it, I've got 12 volts to that coil, because the weak spark then could have just been the 12 volts going through the resistor to the coil constantly. So I might just test that before I give it a go. But I did have it successfully running on the bench, but I had a miss that I couldn't sort of find. I sort of got rid of most of it. It was just the coil not mounted properly, and it was not earthed properly. But that's not a problem now. All new plugs. I've got new cap, rotor. Haven't got new points, but the points looked okay. And I haven't got new leads because they looked okay. But we'll soon find out. So that's number 1. So 1, 3, 4 and 2. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 2. All right. I'm going to give this a shot and see if it'll start. I just put you up here. Now I'm not going to prime it or anything, we'll just see what happens. Bit of choke. Well, that was a resounding success. It's not missing anymore, so that was the problem the whole time. I've got no water in it at the moment, so I'm going to be careful with. See if my taco works okay. Plenty of oil pressure. We have a winner. A little bit too far advanced. Advanced that way. Condition light is not going off. Right, that's something I'll have to investigate. But failing that, taco, everything works beautifully. Keep an eye on my temperature. Oh, it won't read the temperature because it's got no water in it. So that was a success. I spent hours on this the other day trying to get that sorted, and that's all it was. That mist has gone that I had that I couldn't figure out what it was. Excellent. So I'll now put some water in it so I can run it a bit longer, and I'll empty out, I'll open the roller door so I don't choke myself to death. Water, water, water. Bucket full of water. I'll put antifreeze in it eventually, but at the moment I just want to run it, so I'll just fill it up with water and I'll get some antifreeze tomorrow. Well, that's very pleasing. Very pleasing. I might get a funnel, so try not to spill any water so I can see if I've got any leaks. I've got some leaks now. Where is that coming from? That can't be good. Oh, gee, that was a worry. It's coming out of there. Oh, I thought I had a Welsh plug or something going for a minute. So that's good. I'll just put a plug in that. Just go and give my dog a clip over the ear. Inside. Get inside. 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 I have to cut that bit out. Right. Now, I initially thought that hose coming out there was a vent from the crankcase, but it must be for the heater, which I don't have. So I'll cut this off and put a plug in it temporarily. Well, it won't be temporary actually, but That's a relief. I thought I had a major issue for a minute. Now what can I plug this up with? A bolt. What a bolt. Fit in here. What I'll do, I think, to make it look neat, see I don't have a heater, I'll cap that off eventually. Okay, need more H2O. So much for not spilling any water. I'll leave the cap off till it gets the air out of it. Rusty water in there, which is not good, but I'll drain all that out after I get it up to temperature. I've got no thermostat in there, so it'll be circulating from day one. Last thing I want to do is cook it. The temperature's coming up now, so I'll check the temperature gauge out. Good oil pressure. That's just starting to move that temperature now by a little bit. We'll want to leave that for a run for a while. I'll open up some vents. A little bit rich, but that looks okay. Now I have to get the bottom of this alternator light. Temperature has not moved. Feel the temperature of the motor starting to come up. A little bit hard to see, but you can see I've still got that red ignition light on. Tacho works. Can't really see it there, but I did. Oh, you can see it there now. Which is good. So all I have to do is fix that battery light. Yeah, temperature's just lifted now. which is great. So no rattles and bangs. The motor sound's been really good mix. Which is a surprise. That gasket flopping around under there, so I've got to crank this down. Surprised that's not leaking oil everywhere. Oh, that's why. Should be tucked in. I've got a new exhaust clamp. You can hear that exhaust hissing out of there. Now, I didn't do anything to the fuel pump, and that works, which is surprising to me. I've got to get the bottom of this alternator. I might even take the alternator off just to test it. I'm not sure how to test it, but yeah, temperature's rising. Good. Sounds good. Sounds great. Well, that's a miracle. All because of this little fella here. So it goes to show, just got to go back to the basics. There's just nothing wrong with that at all. Oil pressure's dropped a little bit, which it should do once the oil warms up at idle. I'll just see if that comes up as I rev it up. Try and give you a look at these gauges here. Hello. Yeah, good, good. You hear that? It's my mini mate running. My mini mate running. Yeah, so yeah, I took an early mark. Caught to 4 o'clock. Yep. Yeah, believe it or not, I put that coil and everything on, like I said, and it just went first go, first pop. So bizarre. Anyway, how's your day? Yeah, good. Well, so far so good. I'm a little bit concerned about the rockers not getting enough oil. But I'm not sure. That might be normal. I would assume that it would fill up with oil and run back down the valve guides, but I could be totally wrong. It might just be pressurised in here. I'll have to do a bit of research, but if anyone knows, let me know. But other than that, it's going quite okay. It's virtually up to temperature now. You can see on the gauge here. (150 degrees). Oil pressure's dropped a bit as its temperatures come up, but that's normal at idle. I'll just speed it up and see if that oil pressure comes up a bit. So that's fine. this oil light needs to go off. I'll just try my headlights and see if they I'm just seeing if the motor labours while I put the headlights on, which it doesn't, which tells me the alternator's not got a drawer on it. So I'm looking to see if the headlights sort of raise up, and I've got a lot of air in that oil pressure gauge too, so that won't be helping. Fuel gauge is reading fine, oil's fine, temperature's fine. Battery you've got to sort out, not for now. My guess is that's not charging, so that may be correct, that light, and it's not charging, so we'll have to figure out how to test it up the alternator. So I'll check. Oh, you can't ask for better than that. I might just bleed this oil pressure gauge and get all that out of there. Well, that was a way better outcome than I expected, to be honest. It's going to be difficult. noticed that there's a oil gallery plug on the top of the rocker system, which I might remove. We'll just see if I can get some oil to come out, which is this one here. My guess is that oil comes up and through there, so I'll just remove that and see if I can get any oil to come out. Turn it off so I don't make a mess. But that's starting beautifully. I had it out once before when I did this head up, but along those flies maybe. Pointy nose flies, whatever you want to call them. How do you get that out? At worst, I can pull that stud out because I've had it out before. So I might do that. Last thing I want is no oil up through the rockers. So I just can't see down in there to see what I'm looking at. I'm going to stick a bit of wire down there to see if I can. I might start it and just see what happens. I've got one bolt out there, but that still should be okay. I'm not sure. I don't know enough, but I don't like the look of that. Do a bit of research, I think. That's got to be lubricated up there. That's just, it could be getting lubricated, but I would just assume that I would see plenty of oil under the rocker cover, which I don't, which doesn't make any sense to me. No expert on these. Going to tip a bit of oil on there for the time being. Not that oil on the outside is going to help it. It needs oil on the inside. You'll end up with puddles under the valve. That's why you have valve seals, I suppose. Maybe it just pressurizes under there to lubricate it. I don't like it. More homework to do, but the good news is it is that smoke smoke coming from. Got a leak here, could be the gasket. Alright, well that shall do me for the time being, I think.